What's up, guys? Hey, welcome to Access Live number 5. Can you believe we've been doing this for 5? And that doesn't even include the week we were off for Easter. So that's really 6 weeks of quarantined Access. But hey, I've been having a blast doing this. It's not as fun as being with you, obviously, but it's good to get together and do some goofy stuff online and figure all this stuff out. So I'm excited to be with you guys. We're going to get started here in a second. We're letting a few people more just jump on. But make sure that you jump in on the live chat. If you're on your computer, you should be able to use that. Anytime during tonight, you can make comments, you can ask questions, whatever it is. And make sure to text a friend as well and invite them, because when we're online, so it's super easy to invite friends now to Access, because you can just tell them to go on YouTube from right where they are. So it's going to be a fun night. I've got a lot of things planned. We've got some more memes of the week. We have got a game of Mad Gabs to play together over online with some text-in answers. And then we are going to start something new this week called Big Questions, where we are going to look at the reasons why we as Christians believe what we believe. So this is going to be a really great opportunity for you as well to put in questions that you have about what we believe as Christians. Maybe you've always wondered, why do we believe the Bible? Why do we think the Bible really is the Word of God? So we can talk about that, and I'm planning to talk about that. We can talk about, why does this happen in the Bible? What about this particular passage? I've always had some questions about this, Noah's Ark, Jonah and the whale, different things like that. We are going to have plenty of time for any questions you have. So I want to invite you over the next couple of weeks, if you have questions, to send them in to me. There's a couple of ways you can send them in to me. Let me put that up for you right now. You can, hang on, where is it? Here we go. Oh, it's not coming up. What is wrong with my technology? Hang on one second. I'll fix it later. You can email it to me at agriffiths@chapelstreet.church. Or chapelstreetchurch.com, or you can text them in to me at 409-273-2206. But we have got a lot of stuff planned for tonight, so I'm going to get straight in on it. We'll take a quick look at the live chat, see who's with us tonight. Will Garlock, what's up, brother? Noah Wade, Jake LeBron, Grace and Galen, what's up? The Schulenbergs are with us. Hey, Vivian Drake, what's up? How you doing? It's good to see all you guys, but hey, we're going to get straight into this, so let's straight go to memes of the week. Let's see what we got. Hopefully the technology works this time. Let's see. Where's my memes of the week this week? Memes of the week. Oh my gosh, what is happening? Why is this not working? Okay, I'm going to figure this out. This is awkward, but that's okay. We're going to figure this out. Give me 10 seconds. Checked all this right before we started, and it still wasn't going. Okay. Where are we at? Come on. Give me my memes. This could be awkward. This is tragic as well if we can't look at our memes. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create something new real quick. Memes. I'm creating something on the spot to try and kill the awkwardness. Will it work? I don't know. Hopefully. Here we go. Is it going to work? Yeah! Okay. Here we go. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, they're going on all by themselves. We're out of control. Okay. Let's start again. I've muted them. Okay. So yeah, memes of the week. If you don't know what we've been doing and you're just like, what is happening right now? This is so awkward and weird. So every week for the last few weeks, we've been doing memes of the week. So my favorite memes that I've seen from the week, we've been pulling them up and having a look at them. And so we got some for you this week as well, starting with this one. Okay, so The difference between cats and dogs. Why not work from home forever is a dog's opinion on quarantine. But, oh my gosh, it's still doing it. Why is it doing that? Hang on. I know what I need to do. Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh. Now it's out of control. Okay. Why not work from dog's opinion? Loves quarantine. Loves hanging out with us all. Wants to hang out. Cats, though, not so much. America needs to get back to work. Okay. This is more of just funny to me, but check this out. So cow sell alley, cow sell lit. Sheep sell alley, sheep sell lit. Pig sell alley, and then pig sell it. Pixelate, pig sell lit, pixelate. Yes. Okay. Ha ha ha. Okay. This is another toilet one. The toilet one kind of is good now, though, right? Because people aren't freaking out about toilet paper anymore. But I like this one because it's, whoa, I'm halfway there. Whoa, living on a square. Which no one should do, ever. Don't live on a square. That's gross. Please don't wipe your butt with just one square. Okay, how everyone in our home is starting to look at each other. Are y'all feeling this? Yeah, brothers and sisters, moms and dads, right? Like, you are starting to be like, I'm going to need you to go spend some time in the backyard so I can get a little bit of peace, right? Yeah, we're all getting grouchy because we're in quarantine. Where's Waldo Social Distancing Edition? It's just no fun anymore because it's so easy. It's so easy to find Waldo because no one's around. He's one from Twitter. I'm on a strict diet inspired by the very, very hungry caterpillar where I eat everything in my path and then isolate for a few weeks. But something tells me I will not be emerging from this as a beautiful butterfly. This is, if you're watching Wednesday Night Live, this is the Quarantine 15. Everybody's been snacking, and so you're getting all this weight. Here's another just funny one. Pizza is basically a real-time pie chart of how much pizza is left. Mind blow. Mind blow. So is macaroni and cheese, he's a bit of philosophy, this is deep thinking. Is macaroni and cheese Mac because it's short for macaroni? Or is it Mac because that's an acronym for macaroni and cheese? Who knows? Someone get on that. Do a Google search. Find that out. Don't forget to wash your hands. We're trying to be safe. We want to be healthy. So make sure, just like those Lego people, you rip your hands off your wrists and put them in the wash machine. No, I just thought this was funny. Due to reduced pollution, we can now finally see John Cena. Right? Some of you people are like, who is John Cena? Number one. And I don't get the whole why can we see him thing. This is awesome. Okay. Due to less air pollution, we can now see the Star Wars credits again. That's pretty awesome. So if you don't even know what these are about, basically in times of quarantine, because there's less people out and about and driving different places, there's less pollution. They're found all over the world, which is a great thing. And so we're just making fun of that a little bit. When you send someone a meme across the room and wait for the reaction, this is me. This speaks to my soul. I like to send GIFs and memes. I'm like too into it a little bit, but yeah, that's me. That's what I look like too. I've almost completed my 90-day trial of 2020, says Baby Yoda. How do I cancel? Because 2020 has been crazy. Crazy. The 4 stages of quarantine from the Mona Lisa. First, you're just normal. Second, it's a little bit of selfie with the mask on. Third, you're kind of losing it. And then number 4, all those quarantine snacks hit. Poor Mona Lisa. And what new skills did you acquire during self-quarantine? And then we've got a picture of a guy blowing into a teapot so he can blow the liquid out the spout. I guarantee that at least one of you tries this later. And I don't want to be held responsible. It was the meme that inspired you, not me, okay? You tell that to your parents. Pastor Andrew said not to do it. I'm saying don't do it. But if you blow through that teapot and do that and video it and send it to me and I laugh about it, it's still not my fault, okay? And we're back to the cats and dogs, so we'll shut that down. Hopefully the rest of our technology works. I test this out every week before I get on because I get super nervous about YouTube Live. And it didn't work. I was super dejected, okay? But hopefully it works from now on. Okay, so that was our memes. memes of the week. Here's what I want to invite you to do this week. You can send me your favorite memes of the week. If you see memes that you think are hilarious, send them to me at agriffiths@chapelstreetchurch.com, and I will put them up next week. I want to see what you think is funny and what you've been hitting in the memes. So that'll be a blast. But we're going to get to our game tonight. We're going to play a little bit of Mad Gab. If you haven't played Mad Gab before, the way this works is there's going to be a phrase on the screen, and when you read it out, it makes a real sensible phrase. But it's going to look like nonsense at first, but you have to read it out loud and think, okay, what is this actually saying? Okay? And then when you figure out what it's really saying, then you're going to text me the answer. And the people who text the answer in are going to be the winners. So let's see if I can get this to work this time, okay? Where are we at? Okay. So you can text me. Here's the number. 409-273-2206. Hang on, let me see if I can fix this and get this working because it's still not doing it. I'm going to have to add all of these things again. This makes me so mad. You're like, dude, what are you doing with your life? It's a good job that random people are not watching this, really, because they would be like, who is this guy and what's his problem? Okay. Here we go. I'm going to put it on the screen for you guys. There we go. Okay. So we'll put this down here. Whoop. So you can message me at agriffiths@chapelstreetchurch.com anytime during the week for memes, if you have prayer requests, anything going on in life that you want to share. And you can also, for this game, what's going to be important is that number at the bottom, because you are going to text me the answers to these Mad Gabs. Now, let me just test these Mad Gabs real quick. The Mad Gabs are not working either. This is, ooh. Okay, let me get the Mad Gabs up. Okay. So again, I'll explain this again one time real quick while we're fixing my broken technology. The way Mad Gabs work is there's going to be kind of a goofy phrase on the screen, and you're going to be like, what does that even mean? But what you're going to do is you are going to I'm so distracted right now because I'm trying to fix this. You are going to text me what it's really saying. Okay, we'll do a test one to make sure that it's working. But hang on. Okay. Oh, look how huge it is. Okay. So let me explain this one. Okay. So it says put your hope in God, but that is the real answer. This is the real answer. I'm coming over here. This is the real answer. I'm going to show you what hang on. I'm going to show you what the crazy thing is. What the crazy version of this is. Most of you guys know this because you've played Mad Gabs. But let me just show you how it works. Okay. So where are we at? Okay. So the goofy phrase would be butcher whore pink odd. Okay, butcher whore pink odd. And you're like, what is that crazy phrase? And it is put your hope in God. Okay? So you get out wax, hopefully it gets out of wax. So here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to put the first one up, and then first person text me. So you need to make sure that you put your name, your grade, and then the answer to the Mad Gab. Okay? Name, grade, answer to the Mad Gab. Text me. First one to get it in is the winner. Let's see how it goes now that hopefully the technology is working. My number is at the bottom of the screen. Here we go. The first one. I'm not even going to say it out loud in case you get it. But this is it, okay? So first person to text me. Now, I know I've got a couple of texts, but I was distracted while I was fixing the computer. So we just got to see the first person to get the answer, okay? I'm watching the phone. You can get your mom and dad to help you. Get your siblings to help you. Get everyone in the house to help you. Help us figure it out, okay? Nothing yet. Okay. I will reveal the answer once I get the text. A few people make a guess. Because here's the thing is, you can make a guess. You might be right, you might be wrong. But what is this crazy phrase right here? What does it really mean? Just try and guess. I love this part. Ooh. Ooh, here it comes. Here it comes. It was so close. Two people got me at the same time. The Little Mermaid was the correct answer. Oh, wait. Here we go. The Little Mermaid was the correct answer. And it was a two-way tie because these texts came in at the exact same time. It was a two-way tie between the Jennings. Oh my gosh, look at how many texts are coming in right now. This is amazing. There was a two-way tie between the Jennings and the Wades. Noah Wade got the Little Mermaid in at the same time as Paige and Haley Jennings. So it was a three-way tie, really, because Paige and Haley are apparently playing as a team. That's fair. That's fair. Families can play as teams. Okay, so they got it. They got it. Okay, here's the next one. I want to say it out loud so bad, but sometimes when I say it out loud, when you hear someone else say it, you're like, oh my gosh, I know what it is straight away. So you say that out loud. Figure it out as a family. Get your moms, dads, sisters, brothers, dogs, cats, gerbils, hamsters, and figure it out. What does this one say? What does this one say? I appreciate all you guys who got it in early. So many texts. The Crucials, Garlocks, Cameron, Youngs, Schillenbags, you went for it. Isaac Witt, it is not Abraham Lincoln. Oh, the Jennings got it again. The Jennings were the next ones in. Abod Hollocoke, a bottle of Coke. A bottle of Coke. Jennings got it again. Man, Jennings are on it tonight. They're so fast. But it's not Claire, though. I noticed Claire has been texting me differently. Haley and Paige are playing their own sister, and they are beating her. That's live, online for the world right now. A bottle of Coke. It was a bottle of Coke. Okay, next one. I can't say this one out loud. Figure it out. Text me. Figure it out and text me. Fast passing to get it. Fast passing to get it. Ooh, this is so exciting. Don't you think live games online are kind of fun? This is kind of fun. This is cool because I'm just like, who's going to text me fast? And I wish I had like a video camera in your... Oh, CJ Valente! CJ Valente got it. Nice speed, bro. British accent was the correct answer. British accent. Do you get it? British accent. I know a guy who's got one of those. British accent. Okay. Yeah, that was CJ Valente. Nailed that. He got that on time. Well done, CJ. Everybody else who got it, good job. Okay. But it was CJ who got it fast. Guys, 42 texts in my text box right now. This is amazing. I feel so loved. Okay. Here we go. Next one. Next one. Can't say it out loud. Can't say it out loud. I was saying, I wish I had a video in y'all's rooms right now to see, because there's two types of people who play Mad Gabs. There's one who's like the really calm person who's just like, yeah, they say it out loud and then they think and they reflect. And then there's the other people like me who like is yelling it out loud as I can, freaking out, right? I wish I could see. Oh, CJ Valente again. He got it. The sky's the limit. And now a two-way tie between the Jennings and CJ Valente, who both have each got two, right? Ooh, two-way tie. Two-way tie. But we got some more. We got some more. We could break it. Yeah. Okay. Okay, CJ Valente has got two. Paige and Haley Jennings have got two. It was the sky's the limit. Disguise they'll him it. Disguise they'll him it. The sky's the limit. Okay, here we go. Here we go. The next one. Next one. What is it? What is it? So now that I know these, I feel like it's so obvious because I'm here with the answers, right? But when I was reading through them, I was like, this is so dumb. I have no idea what this is. But let's see. Let's see who's going to get it. Let's see. Either Valentes or Jennings. Who's going to break it? Oh! Someone just got it, but they didn't tell me who it was. Oh, they didn't put their name. The second person to get it. You know who it was? CJ Valente. But here's the thing is, we're going to honor this person who got it first. I'm going to figure out who this is. I know who it is. It's Rachel Wade. It's Rachel Wade. Because she texted me a couple of weeks ago in one of the games. It's Rachel Wade. So Rachel Wade has won. You beat CJ Valente. CJ, you were really, really close. Don't touch my stuff. Don't touch my stuff. Don't touch my stuff. Okay? Right. Okay. So CJ could have broke a tie there, but he didn't. It was close. It was close. So there's still a two-way tie between Valente and the Jennings. And Rachel Wade has also got one now as well. Okay. He's the next one. I can't even remember how many of these I did. Sometimes, remember last week when my game went way too long? I think I only picked 7. So we should be getting close to done right now. We should be one more after this. Except you know what? It was the practice one. So this might be the last one. Okay. We're seeing. What is this one? We haven't got it yet. We haven't got it yet. Oh, it's this one. Oh! There has been a break to the tie. There has been a break to the tie, guys. But who is it? Is it Valente or is it the Jennings? I'll tell you the answer and then I'll tell you who broke the tie. Because I like to create tension. Do a Google search was the answer. Do a Google's urge. That sounds so weird when I do it. Do a Google search was the answer. And if I'm right, yeah, that was our practice one. So this was the last one. So someone has broke the tie and they are the champ tonight. Put in the live chat who you think it is, Jennings or Valente. It's one of the two of them. I'm going to make you boil in your own juices waiting to find out. No, I'm just kidding. Here we go. The winner of tonight, the Jennings! The Jennings broke it. Paige and Haley are the champs tonight. They did a Google search and they got it in fast before CJ. Ooh, that was tense. That was tense, man. Tense. Okay. Jennings, you did it. Paige and Haley, proud of y'all. Okay, I'm going to get that off. I'm going to get this off for a second. Let me just see if these things are working. See, all my other things are broke too, so I'm going to get them off real quick. My announcements. I had announcements and everything. Do my Bible verses still work for tonight? No, they don't even work. Gosh, all that hard work I put in ahead of time. Okay, so we're going to figure this out as we go along. Okay, but that's our game tonight. Hope you guys had fun. That was a blast, actually. I was getting pumped up from getting those texts, so I was getting excited. Let me jump in on the live chat real quick, see who's with us. Quentin Young, you here, man? Crucials are here. Drake's are here. Jennings, yes. David Jennings, yes. That's right. Paige and Haley took it. Brady Van Awesome is with us. Okay, so let's get to it tonight. I've got quite a few announcements, so I'm going to try and get through these quick, and all my technology's broken, so I had nice slides and everything. Let me do the first two real quick. We don't need a picture for. We can just do them quick. Because there's something that we've been doing already and I want to remind you about and want to invite you into. So the first is Bite-Sized Bible. If you go on our YouTube channel during the week, I've been releasing, I should say we. There's no other invisible person here with me other than Janae. She helps me do stuff. But I've been putting some videos up to just for something to watch during quarantine called Bite-Sized Bible, which are little 10-minute summaries of a book of the Bible. So we have done we've done 4 already. We have done 1 Corinthians, which is what we're talking about in church on Sundays. So that might be helpful to check that one out to understand 1 Corinthians a little bit more. We have done Amos this week as well, which is kind of this obscure book in the Old Testament that not many of us have read, but it's a really, really interesting book. So check that one out. And then we had 2 before that it blanks from my mind. It seems so long ago that we did them. One was Jonah, where we talked about that one. And then the other one was a New Testament book. It was, what was it? I can't remember my own stuff. We had Jonah and then Philemon. because Philemon's one of my favorite letters. That was the first one we did. So go check those out. Anyway, if you want to do something for 10 minutes, you want to think about a book of the Bible, go check out Bite Size Bible. The other thing I want to invite you in on is on Mondays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And this was started by 4 of our own guys: Jake LeBron, Brady Van Ross. I keep wanting to call you Brady Van Awesome because of your YouTube name. Brady Van Rossum, Nate Garlock, and then Casey Bean. All these guys decided to get together and they wanted to do a Bible study. And so we've been looking at the Gospel of John on Mondays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. And we've been doing it live on YouTube. So anyone can come to this. They put it together, but this is totally for anyone to come. It usually goes no more than about 30 minutes. And we just spend some time talking about the Gospel of John. We do one chapter each day. So we do a chapter on Monday and then a chapter on Thursday. So I would love for you guys to come and do that. You guys who have been reading the YouVersion Bible app, you know we've just finished John, so you know everything there is to know about John already anyway. So that's awesome. Okay, next announcement. This is a big one for this coming Friday. I know Wade is really excited about this because he's been texting me about it. We are going to do a Netflix watch party this Friday at 7 p.m. I'll explain what that is in a minute, but we're going to watch Avengers Infinity War together as a Netflix watch party. Now, the way you do a Netflix watch party is you have got to have 2 things. You've got to have a Netflix account, and you've got to have Google Chrome web browser. So here's what's going to happen. On this Friday at 6:45, 15 minutes before the movie starts, I'm going to do a YouTube live video, and I'll explain how to get it all set up. But you got to make sure that on Friday you've already got Google Chrome as a web browser and you've got a Netflix account. And then I'll explain for those 15 minutes, and at 7 we'll start watching the movie all together. We'll be able to jump in together and have fun watching it together. That's 7 p.m. this Friday. Now I want you as well to check with your parents, make sure they're okay with you watching Avengers Infinity War. Just want to check. I know a lot of you guys are like, that's okay, I can watch it. But the respectful thing to do is just check anywhere. But we'll all jump in on Friday and watch that. I love that movie. It's one of my favorites. Might be my favorite Marvel movie. But it'll be a blast to watch that together. 7 p.m. this Friday, Netflix watch party. The last, or the second to last announcement I've got for today, there's a lot, is in 3 weeks from tonight, we are going to do something called the Access Live Talent Show Spectacular. So here's the deal: is in quarantine we've all been getting a little bored, right? We're just crazy bored. The school stuff is going on, but that's winding down now as well. So here's what we're going to do. On May 17th, which is 3 weeks from today, we're going to do the Access Live Talent Show Spectacular, and it's going to be created by you guys. So here's what I want you to do is sometime over the next 3 weeks, I want you to think of a talent or a hobby or some kind of skill that you've got. It can be anything in the world. It can be singing a song. It can be playing an instrument. It can be magic tricks. It can be anything. Anything that you think is unique talent that you have. And then you're going to record yourself in a video. Now, here's the rules: is it can't be any longer than about 2 to 3 minutes, so that we've got enough space for everybody's who might send one in. But I want you to send in these videos to me at A. Griffiths. We'll put it back up on the bottom of the screen. Where is it? Boom, right there. Email it to me. This little 2 to 3 minute video of you doing your talent. Someone can record you, or you can set it up against the wall or something. Record your talent, and then we're going to put them all together. And on May 17th, we're going to watch them all as part of Access Live. We're going to see our talent show, and the live chat is going to decide the winner. We're going to vote on who the winner is. So, you got, again, it can be anything. Playing an instrument, singing a worship song or a pop song. It can be, you can show off some magic trick skills that you might have, or even there's a hidden talent like juggling. Maybe you're good at that. Maybe you're good at gymnastics. Any talent at all. There's no talent too small or too crazy or too unique. All of it, we're going to try and get on. The only thing is you've got to be able to record it on your phone in landscape mode, and it's got to be within 2 to 3 minutes. As long as it fits on a phone in 2 to 3 minutes, you can send it in to me. So make sure you get those. We've got 3 weeks, so I'll keep reminding you guys each week about this, but you guys jump in on it. It's going to be awesome. The last thing that I've got for you is a really great serve opportunity that I'm really excited about for us as middle school ministry, okay? Now, quarantine has made it kind of hard to serve because there's not a lot of ways that we can get out, okay? Because normally we might go somewhere and serve. We might, go clean something up, or we might all come to church and do something at the food pantry. But that's been really difficult because we can't gather in large groups. So it's made kind of the normal ways that we serve kind of difficult. But here's a really, really great way that we can still serve. There's a lot of people during this quarantine who are shut in and isolated and lonely. And particularly older members of our community are sometimes shut in, and they don't get a lot of fun during the week. They don't have anybody living with them, or they don't get to talk to many people. So here's what we're going to do as a middle school ministry. If you're in this, I want you to email me and say I'm in. But we are going to basically set up pen pals with some of the members of our church who are older and shut in and don't have as much contact as the rest of us. And you guys are going to write them a letter and basically just build a relationship with them so that they can get to know you, you can get to know them, and they can have something to look forward to during the week, and you can get to know one of the older members of our church. So if you are in on this, if you are in and you're saying, yeah, I want to be a pen pal, I want to write an encouraging letter to a senior member of our church, then I want you to email me and put in the subject of your email, I'm in. Email me and say, I'm in on this, I want to do this. Let's do it, okay? And then I will get you set up with one of the members of our church who's looking for a pen pal. It'll be a really great service opportunity. And I want to remind you, right? Jesus said in the Gospels that whatever you do for the least of these, you've done it for me. So as much as we want to encourage members of our community, we want to love them, but I want you guys to know this is really important, that when you do this, this is what is pleasing Jesus. Jesus is saying, thank you for loving my people. Thank you for loving others. So thank you for loving your neighbor, right? Jesus, you've done it for them, you've done it for me. So, think about that. If you're in, again, email me, agriffiths@chapelstreetchurch.com, right at the bottom of the screen, and put in the subject line, I'm in, and then I will connect you with someone that you can write to. But think about this. There's probably, how many have we got on the view right now? We got 29 people viewing this, right? That's 29 senior people right now that don't have people connecting with them, people who don't have their families that we can connect with, right? And I know that some of the people out of that 29 have got more than one in that, right? So that we can reach a really large group of people. So this is super awesome. I can see already y'all are talking about the talents. That's super awesome. But yeah, so guys, I want you to be thinking about this. I want you to be focused about this because we want to keep serving people. Okay, well, hey, we're going to make a bit of a shift now. We're going to change gears a little bit. I'm going to talk about our new series that we're calling Big Questions, okay? Big Questions. I'm going to, over the next couple of weeks, be talking about questions that we all have about Christian faith. I kind of mentioned this at the start, but we're going to talk about why we believe what we believe. Now, the reason why this popped up in my mind is if you were on Access last week, you may have noticed that we had a guest in the live chat, someone none of us knew. And they were kind of sharing some disagreements what they had about Christianity, kind of asking questions, well, what about this? Saying a lot of different things. Now, the first thing I want to say about that is we don't want to be angry at that person. I reached out to them after Access. We don't want to be angry because we don't know anything about them. We don't know their life. And you know what? Some of the questions that we're asking were really legit. Like, people have a lot of questions. I'm sure you guys have friends and family members that have questions about how can we believe in God? Why should we believe the Bible? Why should we believe what the Gospels say about Jesus? Those are legit questions, and we shouldn't be angry with people who ask those questions, and we shouldn't be against them, right? Now, I reached out to that person afterwards. I haven't heard back from them, but I thought, what a fantastic thing this is, that someone who obviously disagrees with Christianity and has some questions, that God somehow ended dropping them in the middle of a live stream of our devotional time, right? I don't think that was an accident. I think God put them square in there, right? Now, I want you guys to feel comfortable in that live chat, and so we're very careful about who we're going to let talk in there from now on. But here's what it inspired me to do. It inspired me as a group, while we're in quarantine, while we've got this time, let's think about the reasons why we believe what we believe. Because now, even more than most time, a lot of people are asking these questions about, well, why would God let all this happen? If there is a God, why is all this happening? And that's going to be one of the questions that we look at. But I want you guys to know that the Bible is not afraid of people questioning it. And Jesus is not afraid of people having questions from it. In fact, Jesus loves when people have questions for him. right? There's a lot of instances in the Bible where Jesus has conversations with people and talks about their doubts and their fears and their questions. And one of my favorite parts in the Bible is from 1 Peter 3. And I was hopefully going to put this on the screen, but my technology broke. But in 1 Peter 3:15, this is what we're told. In your hearts, regard Christ the Lord as holy, ready at any time to give a defense to anyone who asks you for a reason for the hope that is in you. Okay? So let me actually just check. Let's see if we can get this up. Is it? No, it's not going to go up. But he says, always be ready to have a reason for the hope that is in you, right? This is Jesus' friend Peter. Peter the fisherman, Peter who walked on water, Peter who denied Jesus, Peter who became the leader of the church. And he's writing a letter to the church, and he's saying, always be ready to have a reason for the hope that is in you. You know, it's an important thing as Christians that we have reasons for why we believe what we believe. We don't want to just be people who have what we call blind faith, where we just believe something because we believe it. There are reasons why we should believe in Jesus. I really believe that. I think there are logical, sensible, even sometimes scientific reasons why we should believe in Jesus. And so we're going to talk about them over the next couple of weeks. And the first question we're going to look at this week is, why should we believe that there is a God? How do we know that there's a God is the question. How do we know there's a God at all? So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And again, in the live chat, feel free to drop in your questions that we can maybe look at in future weeks. But we're going to start with this one. It's a big one. Let me pray for us before we do this. I want God to be with us, and I want this to be a learning experience for all of us. I want us to really reflect on this is some of the evidence and some of the reasons why we believe that there is a God. Okay, but let me pray. Father God, we love you so much. We love getting together, Lord. I really, really miss these students. I miss getting together in person and playing these games in person. Lord, I just pray that tonight as we gather online over YouTube, you would be with us. You would be with us in our homes. And tonight, Lord, as we think about some of the reasons why we believe in you, why we trust you, God, I pray that you'd remind us again. You'd remind us again that you are with us, that you love us, that you are real. That you are the creator of heaven and earth, that you are the one that sent your son to die for us on the cross and who loves us so very much. Lord, we pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, so we are talking about, let me get this off. We're talking about the question, how do we know there's a God at all? And we're going to look at this through three different arguments tonight. I'm going to teach you three different arguments, three different explanations for why we think there is a God. Now, I don't think, before we even get started, I don't think that any of these reasons by themselves just kind of lock it up, right? If they locked it up, then people everywhere in the world would believe. You would just give them an argument and they believe. Obviously, faith means there's a certain amount that we're just trusting in. But here's what I do think that these kind of arguments, these explanations do, is I think they help us understand why it's a reasonable thing to have faith, why it's a sensible thing. Like, this is not the idea that we believe in the God of the Bible is not the same thing as believing there's a flying spaghetti monster out in the universe, right? Like, there's a lot of really sensible reasons why we believe there's a God. And we're going to look at it through three different ways. And here's another important thing. This is what we're going to talk about tonight isn't necessarily going to prove that the God that exists is the one of the Bible. We'll get into that in different weeks. We'll talk about why do we believe that Jesus is God, and why do we believe what the Bible says is true. But this week it's just specifically, how do we know there's a God? How do we know there's a God at all? So we're going to start with that question, and we'll go into some of the other ones in different weeks. But again, we're going to look at this through three different ways. And what we're talking about tonight is something called apologetics. Apologetics. Now, this is kind of a phrase that means a defense, right? It goes all the way back to the early church, right? And a lot of the people in the early church were called apologists. And it was the original meaning of that word was kind of to make a defense, right? So when we make a defense of our faith, we explain our faith, it's called apologetics. That's the fancy word for it. And so we're going to look at three apologetic arguments for the existence of God. Now, I want to convince a few of you out there who think this is going to be a snooze fest, okay? Because you're like, oh my gosh, he's saying big words. I'm already out, okay? This is the most important question you can ever ask in your life. Is there a God? Because, as we're going to talk about at the finish of tonight, if it's true that there is a God, it will change everything that there is about life. Not one part of life will stay the same if God is real. It will affect everything. So one of the most important questions you can ask is there a God? So let's dive into it. Let's get into this. Let's start with something called the cosmological argument. Ooh, the cosmological argument. That's the fancy phrase for it. Now, I want to tell you a story to start off with. Have you ever been in a situation at home where your parents kind of come in and there's like a mess everywhere, right? Like you've just made a catastrophe and you were younger, and the parents always ask the question like, where did this mess come from, right? And do you ever remember a moment when you were real little? Like my kids do this a lot, where you're like, I don't know. Like you pretend like you have no idea where the mess came from. You just kind of like, you want to get out of getting in trouble. So you just say, I don't know. It just happened. I just walked in the room and then all this stuff was all over the floor, right? Now, we know now that we're all, that's a really goofy thing. Like when my kids do that, when I'm like, hey, where did this mess come from? They're like, I don't know. I can see through that straight away. Because we know that things don't just come from nowhere, right? And I'll explain that a little bit more, but this argument is all generally about the idea of things don't just come from nothing, right? The whole argument, this cosmological argument, is an argument that if there is a God, because everything exists, and if everything exists, that means that someone must have made it, right? That it must have come from somewhere, and that somewhere must be what we call God. Now, here's why it's a reasonable thing to say things can't come from nothing, right? Let's start from the scientific point of view. You might have heard in science lessons at school things like matter cannot be created or destroyed. That's something that we learn from physics, right? And what matter is just anything you touch, anything that exists, right, is matter. So our houses are made of matter. We are made of matter. Anything that has substance in the universe is matter, okay? And you can change matter. Like if you heat something up, you're changing the matter, right? Like it might melt, it might change from a solid to a liquid, or in extreme cases, it might turn into a gas, right? You can change things around, but you can't create it out of nothing. You can't you can't destroy it either, right? Like even when our bodies, when we die and we pass away, our bodies don't cease to exist, right? They just become something else. Either they decompose and they become a part of the soil, right? Or if we're cremated, we become ash, and the ashes are still there, right? But the atoms and the molecules that make up your body don't just get destroyed, and nor did they come from nowhere, right? They come from cells that grow and multiply, right? So here's what this argument is really all about: is if we have a universe, then it must have come from somewhere. It must have come from somewhere, right? If we go all the way back to the very beginning, what most scientists call the Big Bang Theory. And I just, as a kind of, if you're interested, I believe in the Big Bang Theory. My sister is a physics teacher. She studied physics at university, and my brother-in-law is also a physics teacher in a college in England. And so I had a lot of conversations about science with my sister and my brother-in-law growing up, and they're both Christians. And so one of the things that they get really excited about is explaining how science and faith are partners, right? They're not against one another, that they're friends. They help one another. They explain different things. And we would talk about things like the Big Bang. And one of the things we would talk about at the Big Bang is the idea of the Big Bang is that the whole universe was compacted down to one tiny little infinitely small space. And then it was really, really dense, and everything that exists was in that small space, and then there was an explosion. And everything spread out, and we get galaxies and stars and planets, right? And it's similar idea that when a baby grows in the womb, it starts with one cell, and then it multiplies and becomes this fully complex human being, right? We see a lot of things in nature and in creation kind of go that way. It goes from small to big. But there's always something to start with. There's never nothing. There's always something to start with, right? Like there's nothing in our universe that we can observe that there was just nothing there, and then all of a sudden something was there, right? From the most complex thing to the most simple thing, there's always an explanation from the beginning. So this is what the cosmological argument is we say, we think there's a God, we believe there's a God because everything must have come from somewhere. So again, that doesn't mean that we know who that God is yet, but it means that there's a pretty good reason to believe that there is a God because the entire universe has come from somewhere, right? It didn't just pop out of nowhere. Now, we'll pause there and we're gonna move on to a second argument now, because as I said, these arguments by themselves are not. This is not like what we're talking about tonight. Is not like gotchas where you say these and you've got someone. They're just ways to think about why it's reasonable. And so a lot of these go together. So that's the first one. And the second one is something called the teleological argument. There's another big fancy word for you, teleological argument. But here's a more simple way to understand this one: intelligent design, right? This is a phrase you guys have probably heard once or twice before. But this is the argument that not only do we believe there's a God because everything exists and it must have come from somewhere, but that everything that does exist seems to be designed, right? It seems to be a way to do it. Now, the way I think about this one, right, is when I was on a call this week, and Grayson is going to know about this call because my man Grayson Galen was on this call with me as well, but we had a call to a youth group in Estonia, right? They were in quarantine too, and so Pastor Bruce asked me and Grayson if we wanted to join him and spend some time with this Estonian youth group. So we jumped on there. It was fun. We played some games. Pastor Bruce taught us how to pray. But then one of the gals that was a part of that youth group is an artist, and she held up this picture. I'm holding something up as though you can see it. It doesn't exist. But she held up this picture in the Zoom call we were on, and it was this beautiful picture. It was this amazing picture that she'd drawn. And I mean, it was really incredible. She was a middle schooler like you guys. I think she was only like 11 or 12. But it was one of the most amazing pieces of art that I've ever seen. Truly. And Grayson will back that up. Grayson, put that in the live chat. Back me up, bro. But here's why I'm sharing that story is when I saw that picture, right? Even if the girl hadn't been holding it up and showing it to me, anytime I see a piece of artwork, I go, someone has made that, right? Like, let me pull this off my wall. Right behind my computer in my office, I've got this picture. It's a little picture of our family. It's cute, right? Look at that cutie little family, right? Cartoon version. It's got Superman flying in the background that an artist made for our family. A family friend made this for us. And when I see that and I see those pictures, I don't even think twice about the fact that I know someone made that. Now, how do I make that? Is because the shapes and the colors on that page have come together in such a way as to be something very in particular, right? Like when we see a drawing of a person, we know that a pencil didn't just fall on the paper and make the shapes and the colors in that way, right? Like there was a design to it. But we can get even bigger than that, right? Like I want to draw this out to the universe again. When we think about our universe, there's a lot of details to our universe that would lead us to believe it would be designed. For example, if we look at our solar system, our planet is the only planet in our solar system that has the right conditions for life. And scientists are constantly looking throughout the whole universe to try and find other planets that might have life on. And they look for specific qualities because they know that certain qualities have to exist on the planet in order for there to be life. For example, if a planet is too close to the star in the solar system, it'll be too hot and everything will burn. If it's too far away, everything will freeze, right? And your planet has got to be in this perfect location in the solar system called the Goldilocks zone. I bet you Chase Padone knows all about this because Chase Padone is a genius. But planets have got to be in this right location for there to be life. Now, when we think about that, and we think about all the other details of our planet, that there's just enough water, there's the right amount of water on the surface of our planet, that there's the right kind of balance between all the different creatures that exist on this world. Like by that I mean there's things for us to eat, there's things for other animals to eat, right? There's a cycle of life that everything's in balance. If there was too many humans, we would eat everything up. There wouldn't be enough food and we'd eventually die out. If there wasn't enough humans, then animals would get out of control and eat each other and everything would kind of fall apart. There's a balance. There's a design to how everything is. And that would lead us to believe that not only is this universe come to be because there's a God out there, but clearly it's been engineered by someone, that there's an intelligent design, right? And kind of the simple way that this gets explained a lot of times is if I just threw a whole bunch of pieces on the floor, it wouldn't just assemble itself into a car, right? Like it doesn't just happen unless I put the pieces together and make them into a car or whatever it's going to be. So again, this is the argument from design, right? So that we've got the cosmological argument, which is everything has got to come from somewhere. That somewhere must be God. right? Because if we go back far enough and we get rid of everything else and we get rid of all the stars and galaxies, then what was there before that to make everything happen? Second argument is the argument from design, the teleological argument, which says everything seems so fine-tuned, like our planet, our galaxies. Like, I could nerd out on this one a little too much. This is the last thing I'll say. But even the force of gravity, right? Gravity that exists all the way throughout all the universe, right? If gravity was changed, like if that force was changed, whole stars would explode, planets would fall apart. It would be crazy. Like, everything in our universe is just this right perfect number where if it was off just a little bit, the universe as we know it would cease to exist. Like, everything that exists is based on all these forces and ideas out there in the universe that are so particular, it makes us think someone has made this on purpose. Like, so this must have happened for a reason. So those are the first two arguments. And the last one is my personal favorite. It's called the moral argument. And it's an argument from because there's such things as good things and bad things, we know there's a God. And I'll explain that because this one's a little bit more complicated. But I would say that those first two arguments, right, are really clever, really good. And the Bible actually supports them. There's another verse in Romans 1:20. Let me read it to you guys real quick. I could have put it on the screen, but again, my computer broke down on me. Where are we at? Romans 1:20. Just to show you that the Bible supports this kind of thinking, right, is in Romans 1:20, this is what we're told. For his invisible attributes, and it's talking about God, that is, his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen since the creation of the world, being understood through what he has made. As a result, people are without excuse. So this is Paul writing to the church in Rome, and he's basically saying, we know there's a God from creation, because when we look at creation, we can see these different things, right? So that's kind of saying the fact that things exist, the fact that things are so fine-tuned, it's telling us there's a God, right? Psalm 19 puts it this way, the heavens declare the glory of God, right? And the skies proclaim his handiwork. So that's kind of the first two arguments. But I would say a lot of my friends that don't believe kind of look at those two arguments and go, yeah, but maybe think like we think there's a God because things are so fine-tuned, but maybe it's just because it looks that way. It doesn't mean that there definitely is. But this next argument I think is harder to get around. So this is how I want to do this. I want to start with this. This is a level, okay? If you guys don't know what this is, probably most of y'all know what this is, but this is a tool that you use to make sure that something in your house is level, okay? It's in the name. And you see there's a little bubble in there, and when you get it level, the bubble moves into the middle, like that, right? So it tells you, okay, it's straight. So this is kind of the standard that you use to make sure things like pictures that you hang on the wall are level. Now, the whole world is constantly talking about what's right and what's wrong, right? We say certain things are wrong, certain things are right. For example, we say murder is wrong, right? And we say taking care of people is good. That's why we serve. That's why we're doing what we're talking about with our service project with all the members of our church. But have you ever thought about why do we think those things, right? Because throughout history, lots of terrible things have happened that people have said, well, that was a good thing. And people have tried to argue away the bad things they've done by saying it was a good thing. And lots of good things have happened in history that have kind of been ignored, right? So at various times, people think different things about what's good and bad. So why do you think what's good is good and why do you think what's bad is bad? What is your level? What is your standard that you're measuring it by, right? Like, how do you know that's off, that's bad, or no, that's level, that's good, right? How do you know that? Well, let's imagine this first scenario. Let's imagine there is no God. There is no God in the universe. Everything just happened. It came to be the way it is, right? Like there was just a big bang. We don't know what caused it, but it happened and everything just is. If there is no God, there is no right and wrong. There just is, right? Like if one person hurts another person, without God, there's nothing to say that that's a wrong thing. Now, you're going to jump in there and you're going to say, whoa. No, that's a wrong thing. I don't need God to know that's a wrong thing to hurt another person. But I want you to think about that. I want you to think real deeply about that, right? What is it in you that tells you that that's wrong, right? Because, for example, in the wild, stick with me here because this is going to seem a little around the corner. But in the wild, right, we've got various animals. We've got a lion, and it eats the gazelle. Okay. So if I asked you, is it wrong that a lion eats a gazelle? You would go, probably. You would say no, right? Because that's what lions do, right? And then if I asked you, is it okay for a human being to kill and eat another human being? You would go, no, right? You would say it without even thinking twice. Now, if we just think about it on a surface level, we would go, well, let's see if it's a lion and a person. But seriously, think about this. Why do we say that's okay and this is not? Like, we're all measuring what's right and wrong in one way or another, right? And this brilliant guy that I read a lot called Tim Keller, he was having a conversation with two people in his office one day, and he was asking them about what they believe is right and wrong. And he said, tell me one thing that you believe is really important. And this person said, well, I believe in women's rights. And Tim Keller said, hey, I do too. I think that's a really important thing, because the reason why I believe that is because God made women in his image, and so they should be cared for, they should be protected, they should be loved, right? They have the image of God in them. Right? And he said, now, why do you believe that? Because this person didn't believe in God. And she said, well, because I think women are significant, and I think that, and she kind of trails off like that. And she's never really thought about why she thinks that. She just feels it really strongly. And that's the way that most of us work out what's right and wrong. We just feel it really strongly. Now, that's because I think most of us, without even thinking about it, just kind of believe there are certain things that are wrong in this universe and right in this universe. But we've never really thought about why we think those things. I think the reason we think those things is because there's a God. It's because deep down in the fabric of our souls, we know that there is a being out there who is the perfect example of goodness, God. That somewhere out there is a God that is perfectly good. And so he is the balance beam. By him, everything is measured. And that's what the Bible tells us too, is righteousness and goodness is measured by God. God decides what's right and wrong. And we all kind of know that deep in our soul. And so we say things like we believe in dignity for people, and we want to protect and care for people. And we feel and we know in our guts these are good things. And even when we get them wrong, we feel guilt and we feel shame, right? This is because out there is a balance somewhere in this universe. And what we call that balance is God, right? And again, at this point, we don't know his name. We don't know anything else about him. But we know with these three arguments that there's an extreme likelihood that there is a being out there called God. Because everything has got to come from somewhere. There's got to be a reason why everything is so fine-tuned. And there's got to be a reason why all of us seem to agree in our souls. There are some things that are right in this world, and there are some things that are wrong in this world. And there is a reason why they are right and wrong. So hopefully those help you think about this question a little bit more. We could go into way more detail about all of them, and I've went super fast through them and probably not done a great job of getting through them. But let me finish by just saying this. Why is this important? Why do you even take the time to think about these big long words and ideas and confusing things? Because it's not just so that we can all nerd out and like I do and just think, well, here's some interesting reasons why there's a God. Again, if there is a God, if these three arguments, if these three things are true and there is a God, then it changes everything, right? It changes everything that there is to know about everything in this world. If there is a God, then don't you want to get to know him? If there's a reason why you were made, don't you want to find out about that reason? If there's a reason behind everything that is, don't you want to know that reason? And this is at the heart of why faith is so important, is because the Bible's message, the good news of Jesus, is that God has come to explain all those things. He has come to tell us why he has made us. He came to tell us that he loves us, that he's created us for his glory, that he wants to move in our lives to bless others and to care for others, that everything that is has got a purpose. It's not meaningless, right? Like that's a part of the good news, is that Jesus dying on the cross is God saying your life has value, that your existence is important, that he wants to forgive you of sin and show mercy to you and grace to you, right? So I encourage you guys to be thinking about this. And if you want to learn any more about this, then there's 4 people I'm going to tell you to go to. Number 1 is a guy called John Lennox. You can YouTube videos of a guy called John Lennox. He's a mathematician from England, and he is an apologist. He talks about reasons why we can believe there's a God, and he explains in a lot better detail some of the things I've talked about tonight. There's another guy who's maybe my favorite guy. Certainly he's one of the funnest to listen to. Is a guy called Ravi Zacharias. You can Google him too, Ravi Zacharias, and he does a really great job explaining some stuff. There's another guy who has sadly passed away now, but he was friends with Ravi Zacharias, and he's brilliant too. He's a guy called Nabil Qureshi. And go ahead, look him up. And he's got a lot of good stuff too. And then lastly, he's a guy called William Lane Craig, and he is for the really intellectual among us, but he's got some really good explanations for why we believe there's a God too. So have fun looking those guys up sometime. But I just want you guys to understand 2 things. If you remember nothing else from tonight, first of all, there's reasons why we believe there's a God, and number 2 is it matters because if there is a God, it changes everything about our lives. Okay, so. Let me pray, and then we will close out for the night. Guys, if you have any more questions you want to look at in the coming weeks, make sure to put them in the live chat. And guys, remember, Netflix watch party, 7 p.m. this Friday. Make sure you've got Google Chrome, and make sure you've got a Netflix account, and then be on YouTube Live at 6:45 to hear the instructions on how to set it up. Okay? 6:45 YouTube Live this Friday to see the instructions on how to set it up. Let me pray, and then we'll get out of here. Father God, thank you for another hour spent with these middle school students and their families. Lord, I thank you that you have created them for a purpose. Lord, that their life matters, that it is not insignificant to you, that no matter what anybody else in this world says about them, what other questions come up, Lord, you have created them for a purpose, for your glory, for them to know you and enjoy you, Lord. And we'll keep talking about these reasons why we believe in you and trust you over the coming weeks. But God, I just pray that by your Holy Spirit, you would remind us of these moments in the Bible where Peter says things like always have a reason for the hope that is in you. And when Paul says that we can see your attributes in the things that have been made. Lord, I thank you that your word encourages us to be thinkers, to reflect on the reasons why we believe what we believe. God, you're good. We love you. Go with us this week, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, guys. Hey, I love y'all. If some of y'all want to stick around and share prayer requests, you are free to do that. I love this time with you. I treasure it. If you guys want to send in talent videos, again, you can do that. Let me just put the email address up one more time real quick. It's up there for you guys, agriffiths@chapelstreetchurch.com. You guys can get that. Again, if you have prayer requests, put it in the live chat. We'd love to hear from you. You guys are awesome. Melissa Shulman, I'm so thankful for God. He made each and every one of you perfectly in his image. Couldn't say it better. That's why this is so important. Thanks for Melissa for saying that. That's right. All you guys in the live chat watching right now, you are significant to God. You've got value. This is why this matters. Vivian Drake, yes, I really enjoyed the talk. I'm not saying that because my mom made me. I believe you. Hey, you make these talks for me. Seriously, guys, this is fun to do, not because I think I'm really that good at this stuff, because honestly, I'm not. It's because I just like spending time with you and I want to encourage you. So anyway, I can encourage you. Email me, text me. Love hearing from you guys. But it was so good being with you guys. I look forward to seeing you all next week. Again, just a quick reminder for those of you that left on, you can join us for our Gospel of John Bible study tomorrow at 3 p.m. Or on Thursday at 3 p.m. Anytime is great. And yeah, it was good to be with you guys. I will see you next week, and have a good week. Take care.